Hey, good morning, everybody. Alex Kohler here from Sand Security Group LLC, founder. And I just want to go over some of the features that we added to Navi over the course of this year. So let's jump right in. So, first and foremost, I'm running what is going to be the upcoming well, it says unknown right now, but this is all part of what's going to end up in 1.0. So, let's see here. One of the major doohickeys that we're actually going into the new year working on is the ability to edit settings directly from within Navi. So, this being said, we can actually do nifty things now, like choose whether or not to use the local model or the remote model directly from within settings. So let's actually update that real quick. So use local, local model. We'll set this to false. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we hit exit. Navi 3B should actually switch over to, Navi. So we actually have it set up that that setting automatically changes the banner depending on which model you're using, or depending on whether or not you're using local or remote. So, this being said, let's switch it back to local, because that's one of the major things we're going to be focusing on here. Use local model. Set this up to true. And exit. Nice. So, you're going to have to bear with me. I have a little bit of a cold going on right now. But, let's see here. Using the local model obviously isn't going to be as snappy as using the big boy. But let's give it a quick question, shall we? Can you tell me about Nmap? Now, this was one that, kind of tripped us up earlier. So, let's see what it does. We're doing this a little bit slow, like I said, because all of this is being generated off of my laptop, whereas the big server model actually has the V100 AI card in it to kind of back up all that access knowledge. There we go. Awesome. So, Navi does give us contextual awareness of all the things here. So, let's take this one step further here and take a look at chips. Chips list. Actually, not chips search. So the chip system in Navi is a way that we can extend Navi's features, a way that we can build more into it. So let's take a look at Navi Nmap. Chips install Navi. It would help if I could type. Navi Nmap. Wham bam. Now whenever we go chips list, Navi Nmap now shows up. So let me take a look at chips Navi Nmap real quick. Nice. So what we have here is a very brief description of what Navi Nmap is. As well, on a normal terminal, I'm currently using what is this? CRT, yeah, cool retro terminal. So it's got all the little scan lines and whatnot in it. But normal terminals, you'll be able to actually click this link, and it'll take you directly to GitHub for documentation purposes. So, now that we have this installed, how do we use it? Just quick clear screen. So, can you run an Nmap scan on ports 80, 22, and 443 of example.com. So as we can see, it actually launched right into the chip. Instead of giving us the text about, hey, here's what Nmap is, it instead said, hey, let's do this. So we're actually going to have Navi analyze the results. Now, this might take a little while because, again, we're running everything local. So let's just sit here and chat for a minute. So everybody always wanted to know where Navi got its roots from. And honestly speaking, me, like a whole bunch of other people, grew up playing video games. So the specific video game that I'm talking about was Mega Man Battle Network. I don't know if anybody here has had the absolute privilege of playing this game, but if you haven't, go check it out. They just released a Legacy Collection, I think it was last year. Conveniently around my birthday, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's kind of a nice little thing. But in the game series, there are these AIs that are in the user's smartphones, basically. Now, keep in mind, this predates smartphones, it predates AI, but it was a nice little telling of, hey, here we go. So it's a nice little telling of what could be a potential future, and it's a discourse from the regular Mega Man series where it's focused more on the internet and computers becoming the mainstay of technology as opposed to robotics. So the AIs in these systems were called net navis, and that's where Navi gets its name from. It's also where the whole inspiration of a lot of this project comes from. So as we can see here, we have running Nmap scan on ports 80, 22, and 443 of example.com. Nice. Scan was conducted on example.com IP address, which is a publicly accessible IP address. The host was found to be up and responsive. Key findings: HTTP and HTTPS, both ports are open, indicating that the server is serving web content over both protocols. It does have a filtered SSH port. Although port 22 SSH is filtered, it doesn't mean that SSH is completely blocked. It's possible that SSH is blocked on the specific host or at the firewall level. Next steps. For further investigation, I recommend checking the content, attempting to connect to port 22, or scanning for open ports on other addresses associated with example.com, including the IPv6. Would you like to proceed with these recommendations? Also, at the very end of it, Navi gives the actual results of the standard Nmap scan. It's actually really cool. So this is actually a reworked version of a chip that I'd created way back when. That was just kind of like an example of, hey, how can I build tools around what already exists, what artificial intelligences are already out there. So this reworked version of that script takes what I did and ups it a notch or two. Okay, more like 10. But what we see here now is not just a, hey, here's the output of an Nmap scan and, here's the output of this. It's Navi going in and taking the data from the Nmap scan and AI generating her own report of that data. That is a really powerful tool to have. Like, it takes Nmap and it adds another extra couple layers to it. It also makes it more user-friendly for people who are trying to get into the industry, because not everybody's going to really know what all of this means or what all of this does. So, having the AI to enhance the overall knowledge of that is great, in my opinion. And that's one of the major things that we wanted to accomplish with what we're doing here, is to give people more access to these tools, to give people the ability to use them without, all kinds of other stuff. Hey, what's up? Hey, Chris, what's up? All right, so the general idea here. Okay, just double checking that the actual screen is still on. Thankfully, my terminal's semi-transparent, so I can still see the screen behind it. um, but anyway, what we're seeing here is kind of this shift towards more AI integrated technologies, and through the use of being able to create add-ons to tools that already exist, or even creating our own tools, such as, let's take a look here. Clear. Let's see. So even creating our own tools through the Navi chip system will allow us to further integrate AI into the common practices of cybersecurity. Like, one of the major goals behind the Navi project to begin with was to give users a more, like I said before, more access, more ability to do the work in a much more timely fashion. Navi is always ready to go. But yeah. So what we're seeing here is further enhancement of the user's ability to work. So Navi can not just do custom scripting and whatnot, there is full AI behind it. So let's take a quick look here. Now, what I mean by this is, yes, we can ask it all the typical questions, what's Nmap, what is cryptography, what's this, what's that. We can even ask it philosophical things, even though I'm pretty sure right now it'll probably tell you, hey, this isn't on topic. So I'm not going to go into that side right now. However, what we do have is the ability to ask Navi to operate on the system itself. So let's see here. Can you show me the contents of the /home/Alex/ let's see here. Let's go with SSG folder. If I'm not mistaken, there shouldn't be too much in this folder. I know the last time I did a demo of this, it spat out like 1,000 different results. So let's find out. Can you show me the contents of Navi is not installed on your system. Oh, that's lovely. Thanks, Navi. Let's see if we can't prompt this differently, shall we? What is in the... Oh, wait, hold on. I got this. List the contents of /home/Alex/SSG. Now, CD is obviously installed on my system because it's Linux. I wouldn't be able to do anything without the CD command. And it wants to do cat. So do you want to continue? Yeah, I want to see what this actually puts out. Okay. So list the full contents of the /home/Alex/SSG directory. So it all comes down to prompting. Like, there we go. So if your prompt is good, the AI is going to know more. So this is more or less a practical example of, hey, list the contents of home Alex SSG and it wants to do cat. Like, okay, that's not going to do the right thing. Or can you show me the contents of home Alex SSG? And it claims its CD is not on my system. These are little things that we still have to work out, but it is there. It is doing the do. That's the thing. And also, yes, this is actually the contents of my home Alex SSG directory. I mean, kind of has to be, considering. But yeah. So chips. One of the things that we're actually doing right now is making it easier for people to develop chips for Navi. Chips being the extension system around Navi. So let's take a quick gander here. Chips list. So right now we have installed community chips, Navi Nmap, which, by the way, Vincent, amazing job on. And also I was doing a test chip here just to kind of see what it does. So clearing the screen once again. Let's go with CC. Welcome to Navi Chip Creator. Enter the name of your new chip. Let's see here. Let's go with hello this time. That's great. What Python file do you want to be called? Hello. All right, cool. So here's a recap. Python file name hello.py, chip name hello. Are you ready to proceed, or do you want to make changes? Continue or make changes? So we will actually continue. Now, from here, we have a couple of options that we can do. We can either open the directory to the chip location, so that will actually, pop open opt Navi chips, and then I think the dev folder. We can also open our preferred code editor and just start working on the chip. Or we can reload Navi to load the new chip or review the online documentation. Or for another value, I'm finished. We're just going to go with that finished right now. Give me a second. There we go. Much better. Sorry, like I said, I'm suffering with a cold at the time. But I want to get on here and kind of show off the little doodaddys of what we're doing. So, let's go into nhelp real quick. So as we can see, whenever we go nhelp, we actually have a little bit more to it now. So anytime you install a chip, you not only see it in chips list, but you also see it over here in nhelp. And the reason for this is because certain things have, certain aliases that might go with them. So what we mean by this is, let me see if I can't open that folder quick. All right, so come over here to, can't believe I don't have opt saved in here. Should do this for next time. Navi chips dev, yeah, dev, and we'll just open up hello. So I have this set to pop up Visual Studio Code, but let's switch over my screen share real quick. Replace with VS Code. Allow. All right, cool. So what this allowed us to do was actually open this up directly within VS Code. And as you can see, we already have everything set up to basically create said chip. So whenever I say we have aliases, you put your aliases in here. You put your help stuff here. The use is actually whenever you see like the description of it, and of course the command is, here's a command to kind of show exactly what it is in the list. So we have everything set up to make chips extremely easy to build. So we want people to kind of get immersed in this ecosystem and kind of like drive the, open source, hey, here's this AI that can do all this cool stuff. Let's extend it. Let's build for it. Let's make more. And I think at the core of that is a major player of like what we're attempting to do here is to bolster open source artificial intelligence specifically for cyber. So that's why there's a heavy emphasis on all the current tools that are available for Navi being cybersecurity related. Cryptex, Nmap, those extensions help. I was in the process of working on one called TIC, which is supposed to be Threat Intelligence Center. The general notion of it is it's supposed to be like Navi goes out and searches for whatever the latest and greatest cybersecurity news for you is, and then pops it on your screen so you have a feed of, hey, here's what's going on today. Now, this is supposed to be this notion of like integrating the ability to extend workflow, but also kind of containing it all into one AI core system. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely adore CSI Linux is they gave us a test bed to do all of this on. They gave us the ability to say, hey, here's an operating system that has, people who use it the world over. Do your thing. We want to see what it can do. So we've been focused on building the systems around Navi for the last however long. And we're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue seeing that evolution. We're going to continue moving forward in that way. But right now, one of the major things that we're focused on is bringing it all local. So what this means is, let me get back to Navi here. There we go. So this means is, you see Navi 3B here. Navi 3B is what I'm calling the Navi local model. So it runs on your system. It runs on your computer. It's not reaching out to my server anymore. It's not reaching out to, external sources. Although eventually for version 1, we are actually going to have the ability to set a Navi server. So say if you're hosting your own instance of Navi, you can actually punch in your own URL for it. Or you can use ours. That's just the nature of the beast. But this has just been a really quick overview of like what we've done so far this year and where we're going in the future. I want to once again thank Vincent. You're amazing. Thank you so much for everything you've done for this project. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I'd like to thank everybody over in Haiku in general. You guys are kind of more or less the first company to let me get my start. So thank you from the bottom of my Christmas spirit-filled heart. And on top of that, I want to thank the users. I want to thank the users. I want to thank CSI Linux. Like I said, if it wasn't for these guys, we wouldn't be where we are with it. We wouldn't have the idea of the scope of what we need to do with it. So, with that being said, thank you, Jeremy and the crew at CSI Linux. So, I know this video is kind of short. Like I said, I'm kind of suffering with cold right now. So, I'm actually going to close this one off here. If you guys like this, drop a comment, like, subscribe, the usual notions. So, I know that this content is actually worth people watching. So, thanks for tuning in. Stay frosty. Happy holidays, everybody.